Hi guys, so welcome back. This video is going to be all about placements, year 1, year 2, year 3. So let's get into the video. Right, so let's get started. So during your course in paramedic science, you will be expected to go on to placements. Now, the main one is ambulance placements, but you may also get like NEPS, non-emergency patient transport. You might get hospital placements. You might be in the clinical control center. It kind of all depends based on where you're doing your course, but the important thing about it is you learn things in university and then you put that learning into practice. So if you didn't do that, I mean, you're going in for a job on the road, aren't you? So it would be pointless to learn all about it in uni and not actually experience on the road. So yeah, placements are really important. Okay, so I mean, it goes without saying that it's different for different places. Obviously, my whole channel centers around Swansea University. Funnily enough, actually, Wrexham have actually started doing a paramedic course as well. So I wonder actually if it's similar to Swansea. So if you're at Wrexham, like, comment down below or let me know. It'd be really interesting to see. So I'm going to share my experiences so far, but I know that it has changed slightly for the following cohort. So just bear that in mind when I share this. So I will put dates up here once I'm done, but I can't remember off the top of my head because, you know, so much has happened. So the way I remember it is you spend about a month or so in university learning about basic life support, you know, cardiac arrests, things like that. Then you go on a 4-week placement. Then you come back to uni. And then I believe it was February to April time. You go out again for, I think, 5 weeks-ish. Okay, and then back in uni, and then you're on an 8-week placement, like June, July time. So it has changed slightly, but yeah, that's it. The first block is now NEPS placement, but for me it was straight on to an emergency ambulance, and every other placement I've done mainly. Okay, so that's year 1. Year 2, you start the first semester straight onto placement. So when you get to year 2, you start doing hospital placements as well. So I've got to think about this for a moment. So I know you've got to do A&E placement, maternity or labour, paediatric, mental health and theatre. And you've also got to do, in year 3, you've got to do palliative care and coronary care unit. I think that's all of them. If I've missed any, I'll just put it on the text on the screen somewhere. So yeah, so first week back or so, you know, you're pretty much straight on placement of year 2. That was for, I think, 6 weeks. I think. Again, I'll put the right dates on the screen later. So yeah, about 6 weeks, and you combine ambulance with hospital. Then back to uni. Second placement was like February and March. About 5 weeks. Oh my gosh, I've got such a terrible memory. I probably should have a better memory for the job I'm going into. But again, I'll just put it on the screen. And again, that was emergency ambulance and hospital. And then my third placement is coming up, which I believe is mid-May till mid-June. back to uni for 3 weeks in the middle of that, and then back out again like July to August. It's kind of like a split placement, but again, you got to mix hospital and ambulance placement together. And then year 3, to be honest, I don't really know. I think there's another 3 blocks again, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure what the dates are or anything, but when I find out in year 3, I'll let you know. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know the dates. I'm not that, they come and go really quickly. Something to note about placements now is accommodation. So, you can either find it yourself. I think Airbnb is your best shot. Airbnb has worked wonders for me. And at the end of your placement then, you put in a reimbursement form and it takes up to 6 weeks and then you get your money back for it. But there is a limit. So far, I think it's £65 a night, but it could change. And with mileage, there's a big thing on mileage. I believe it's if you travel further to your placement than you would to uni, you can get your petrol money back for that. And if it's under an hour, you get reimbursement then. It's all very confusing, but the main thing to note is you get reimbursed most of the time. I think it's 33p a mile, but again, that's subject to change. And I don't work for the sorry, that was my pen lit. I don't work for the university, so I can't say 100% this is what it's going to be, so little disclaimer there. So the other option then is to submit a form to the university and then they sort out accommodation for you. I haven't personally done that and I've heard mixed reviews, but you never know unless you try. So those are your 2 options for accommodation, and like I said, most of the time you get reimbursement for fuel as well. So the way the whole system works is you will be told where you are on placement. It'll be released onto your intranet page. You get an email notification and then you go to your intranet page and then it will tell you where you're based, a contact number, and maybe some information about the location. So then it's up to you then to contact those people, your mentors, ask about shifts and things. I mean, I normally just say, hey, I'm Caris, I'm a 2nd year paramedic student at Swansea. I've been allocated you as my mentor. Could you please send over your shifts for this date and this date to this day, and any other information I may need. Just something like that. And they're normally quite good. If they don't reply straight away, give them a break. They work 4 on 4 off. They're probably not good. If not, just chase it up in like 4 or 5 days again, Yeah, and then you arrange your shifts and things like that. Any shifts you can't do, they're normally pretty chilled out about it. And they'll say, oh, okay, no worries. If you're short on hours, you could hop on with my buddy, blah, blah, blah. He's a paramedic too, and a PED. They'll sort it. They're pretty chilled out about it, so that's good. And it's, it's up to you really. I mean, my first ever placement, I asked to meet up with my mentor beforehand, just to have a look around the station, get used to it. I think if it's your first placement, maybe it's better just to put your mind at ease. But I haven't done it. So the next thing I want to talk about is what to bring on placement. So if you've got to stay somewhere, goes without saying, bring a load of clothes, bring your computer, your printer, your folder, just bring everything. But my main thing I wanted to talk about was what to put in your bag. Now, I have done a TikTok on this, but it was a very long time ago. So let's go over it again. So a lot of people carry an iPad with them. I carry my MacBook with me. it's just easy then because you can do reflections or essays or revision whilst you're stuck outside hospital, which, as we all know, is what happens these days. You're stuck there for like 10 hours sometimes. That's actually another point. I need to mention that further on in the video. So, let me just write it down. Yeah, so what to pack. MacBook, I sometimes pack a little book as well to read, just like a fictional one, but I also have it on my phone, so sometimes I just read on my phone. A battery pack and cable is so important. You're definitely going to need it, because sometimes you can plug it in, but if you've got a patient, then you can't do that. So battery pack is a lifesaver, but bring your phone plug as well. Then you've got things like snacks. Now, the way I normally do it is I will bring snacks, but normally buy like a sandwich, if that makes sense. So my TikTok, I think I had like an orange, a banana, a cereal bar, chocolate bar, packet of crisps, things like that. And then I'll go and buy a sandwich. But if you're stuck and there's no canteen open, at least you've got snacks to rely on. If that makes any sense? Yeah, so do you know what? I'll put a list up here of my kind of go-to snacks for placement, and you can, decide really. Everyone's different, but that's just my way. Sometimes I'll bring a sandwich or pasta or salad or something like that, but that's most of the time. Yeah, so some other things, do you know what? I'm just going to list it. Right, so I carry a laptop, a book, my documents folder for like attendance log and things like that, some snacks, a drink, battery power pack, purse, earphones, like things like deodorant. I always carry a spare hair bauble every time, just because I've been caught out before, and I'm growing it for charity, so it's pretty long. So yeah, always, if you've got long hair, always carry a spare hair bauble with you. I carry things as well like paracetamol, even though there's some on the truck. It's a bit, I'd rather not take some from the truck. So paracetamol, ibuprofen, just things like that. If it's your first ever placement, I recommend taking anti-sickness tablets with you, because that very first ride you have in the back, especially if it's a red call, you're gonna want to have taken those anti-sickness tablets. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I take with me. Oh yeah, I should probably mention, in Wales anyway, we get this big black bag that we put all our uniform and things in. So in that bag, I've got like my corporal mask, I have a PPE, I have a high-vis jacket for if we go to like an RTC, a helmet, some spare uniform, because you never know when a patient's going to puke on you or you're going to end up in a muddy field. And I think I've got some body wipes in there as well, just in case I need to freshen up. But I think that's everything. Probably mentioned too, if you bring cakes to station, everyone will love you. Okay, do you know what? Every placement I've gone to, I bring in some cupcakes here and there or some biscuits, and the crews really appreciate it. So shift work is the next thing I wanted to talk about. Now, most paramedics, most stations have a 4 on 4 off rota, and it's like a rolling rota, so the days that you work change every week. So what you'd normally find, for example, is by the 4 on 4 off, it means you do the 2 day shifts followed by 2 night shifts, and then you have 4 days off. For some reason, the day after a night shift does not count as an extra day. I think it should, because you're sleeping most of the day. So, but yeah, that's how it works. You do 4 on, 4 off, and then you go back to on 4 on, 4 off for the placement. Sometimes mentors get annual leave in the middle of it all, but like I said, they're normally chilled out and it'll arrange some shifts with someone else for you. So the times of these shifts depend and vary on the station and the locality. Most of the places I've been to are 7s, so 7 a.m. to 7 p.m, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m, 7 p.m to 7 a.m, 7 p.m to 7 a.m. God, that was a mouthful. But there was one area I did where you do a 6 till 5, 8 till 7, 5 till 4, and 6 till 7 till 6? 8 till 6? It was something similar like that. So it was like 11-hour shifts, but every shift changes. So you've got like one morning, one afternoon, one evening, one night. Very, very bizarre system, but I prefer the 7 o'clocks or 6 o'clocks, you know, just it makes everything easier. And then my final point I wanted to talk about placements is the reality. Now, you know, if you've done your reading, you'll know what's been happening, and the reality is you're stuck outside hospital with one patient for the entire shift. And sometimes you'll come back onto the shift the day after and it'll be the same patient you take over from. It's a really sad reality and something I hope changes really soon, because it's not fair on the patients. It's not fair on the crews. You know, morale has it's gone downhill. So it's all well and good me sitting here and being all happy and enthusiastic, but there is a negative side, I suppose, that has to be shared, you know? It's life, you know, you've got to have the ups, you've got to have the downs, but it is still a rewarding thing to be doing, and I still love what I'm doing. So, yeah, the reality sucks, but that's the way it is. If you are stuck outside hospital, you know, of course, patient care comes first, but if you ask your mentor, they're normally pretty chilled out and they let you sit in the front and do some work, or you sit in the back and do some work. I did a lot of revision, especially on the night shifts. The patients, bless them, they want to sleep, and during that time you've got a chance to revise or write essays and things like that. Sometimes when there were like Vivas coming up, I would, you know, I'd ask my mentor things. If we were stuck on station, you know, and there was no calls, then I'd ask my mentor to go over things, or they would offer, and, you know, at least then you're still getting a bit of learning in. With the Vivas, it was good because even though we don't go to some of those calls, like trauma is quite far and few between, to be honest. So I'd ask him, okay, can you question me on trauma? And they'd be like, yeah, sure, no worries. And I don't know, at least you got a bit of learning in that way. But yes, that is the reality of placements. But like I said, it's still an amazing thing to be doing. You know, you really see the difference you make to patients' lives, you know, their families as well. The relief on their face when you walk through the door, it's wonderful, you know. So yeah, the long waits suck, but otherwise it's amazing. So I think that's everything I needed to cover on placements. I don't think there's anything else. If you've got any questions, maybe message me on Instagram or TikTok, because I'm more active on there. If not, I think I'll just start replying directly through the comments, because like I said, doing the YouTube videos just takes such a long amount of time, you know. It takes a lot of planning and thinking about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to discuss, and the editing takes a while. Uploading when you live in rural Wales. It takes a good day and a half. So yeah, if you've got any questions on placement or all the other videos, just comment somewhere and I'll answer. So thank you for watching this video. Please leave a thumbs up and yeah, see you in the next video.